In less than 2 minutes, learn about XRP and Ripple. Rob Cunningham has released a new video that is doing the rounds on X. You must see it. You're still learning if you're new to this area. Now let's get started. Having BlackRock's Robbie Mitchnick discuss tokenization as well. This clip is one you won't want to miss. Additionally, we have news regarding cryptocurrency, the CFTC, and Congress's plans to pass additional crypto laws. All of this and a lot more will be discussed. I have additional XRP news that we will discuss in this video. There is a lot to unpack. This is where we should begin. For many generations, the wealth of honest people has been steadily drained away by secret procedures, fees, and middlemen. However, the change has arrived. A central bank is not what Ripple is. Regulators have allowed this software startup, which is developing technology that allows money and real assets to transfer swiftly, safely, and nearly for free. Verifiable mathematical truth, not privilege or politics, forms the basis of Ripple. Thus, each transaction is open, responsible, and uncorruptible. XRP, a neutral bridge token that connects our world to trust, is at the core. It swiftly, equitably, and globally clears and settles value between any two parties. The goal of Ripple is straightforward but transformative: to facilitate the trust, openness, and stewardship of money and value, driven by unchangeable truth rather than human agendas. Trust becomes the dividend when truth becomes the currency. At the speed of truth, Ripple transports actual value. A good 2-minute video. It goes without saying that you can't fit a lot of information into 2 minutes. One may also include Ripple's acquisitions and partners here. And of course, the part that XRP plays in the global financial system. The intriguing aspect of this situation is that governments and regulators worldwide have faith in the XRP ledger. With more than 24 CBDC pilots worldwide, they have faith in Ripple. You begin to question how much of a part XRP will play in the future of the global financial system, with stablecoins and tokenizations. With their wallets and Ripple's custody solutions, all of this will be crucial in the future. Trillions of dollars in value will be sent throughout the network by the treasury business, and that's where XRP's actual utility price worth will originate. In the near future, all of Ripple's custody services and transaction services via Ripple Prime are probably going to be crucial to Japan's digital economy. There will be significant announcements and the introduction of new rules, however. I have no doubt that they will benefit the Ripple ecosystem. As a result, we are aware that Ripple has been actively conducting business and cultivating relationships in Japan. We are aware that XRP and Ripple's technology can be utilized by a significant portion of Japanese banks. Naturally, now that Ripple is providing more services like G-Treasury and Ripple Prime, you begin to question how much of an impact XRP will have in Japan. Says Ripple Prime is a digital asset infrastructure platform and multi-asset prime brokers that integrates trading, settlement, and custody across traditional and digital asset markets. Ripple Prime is currently being positioned as a bridge for big institutions to access crypto services such as crypto custody, cross-margining, and digital and traditional assets, following Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road and subsequent rebranding. SBI Ripple Asia, for instance, has a long history of collaborating with regional banks and organizations in Japan to facilitate tokenized payment infrastructure and cross-border remittances. There is currently a growing integration of XRP and Ripple services for settlement by major Japanese banks and companies. Naturally, we've heard this figure a lot, as 80% of Japanese banks intend to employ it. Believe that 80% of banks possess this capability. There is a difference between being able to utilize and planning to use. I do believe that a significant portion of banks will begin utilizing the technology. When will that go place? It feels like it will happen very soon. Okay, so it does discuss the FSA, which is one of the financial services organizations in Japan that is aggressively trying to make crypto rules stronger, particularly with regard to custody and transaction management. Let's continue here, though. I would want to play this video here. I believe Blockworks interviewed Robbie Mitchnick of BlackRock, who discussed tokenization in this interview. I'll play it. It's all about using tokenization's broad value proposition, which has many intriguing aspects, isn't it? 24/7, real-time settlement, digital native, worldwide, programmable, and interoperable. How do we implement it in a particular asset class? In a manner that offers investors significant new value or utility. Therefore, the paradigm that previously existed, which required you to choose between having full liquidity and capturing the entire income on your US dollar savings, has been shattered by tokenizing money market funds, including BIDL. You were able to own US dollars in a tokenized money market fund for the first time. You could then convert that to a stable coin whenever you needed liquidity to settle a trade, make a payment, etc. And that is a really strong value proposition in my opinion. Because of this, this asset class has experienced significant growth, adoption, and tokenization, far more than any other DeFi. The question now is, where should we go next? And a large portion of it will remain in this group, correct? Because there is still more work to be done in order to expand access and provide services to an increasing number of investors and clients. Additionally, it's about determining which asset classes are the second and third most viable so that tokenization can be used to increase access, promote actual utility, and provide consumers with a progressively unique level of value. And that's the path we are currently taking. Recall that BlackRock CEO Larry Fink has stated that blockchain technology would play a significant role in the future of the stock, bond, and driven markets. Blockchain technology and the tokenization of such assets allow for frictionless global movement around the clock, every day of the year. The new financial system is that, and possessing XRP, Ethereum, Solana, or any other cryptocurrency means that you control a piece of that infrastructure, correct? That essentially democratizes the situation and empowers everyone with the necessary knowledge to take part. This is the reason behind the phrase, leveling the playing field. That was spicy. Woohoo. That's nice. Okay. Bitwise Investments is a significant milestone. This is because the DTCC platform now lists FTI, Franklin Templeton, Canary Shares, 21 Shares, CoinShares, XRP, and ETFS are awaiting. The DTCC listing has been finished. They're standing by. Institutional access to XRP will be made possible by the SEC's final approval, possible trading, and launch in a matter of days or weeks. This is consistent with Bitcoin, and one of the last stages prior to debut is usually the DTCC listings. Okay. Additionally, Coinbase has seen net inflows of XRP or the USD pair in the last hour. Since Direct introduces fresh money into the economy rather than recycling old funds, it is always preferable to Tether. Okay. The T-Rex registered a 2x long XRP daily ETF. Recall that these long ETFs and 2x ETFs don't actually affect the current price all that much. For the spot price, they don't actually accomplish anything. These futures markets are beneficial, and according to SEC regulations, you must have them if you plan to establish a spot market. A 6-month futures market is required. As a result, even though XRP has exploded in the futures market, the price hasn't changed all that much. Therefore, it is imperative that these spot products get off the ground, since they will need to be backed with fresh XRP reserves. Things can get exciting at that point. They will therefore require all of that XRP if you acquire $1 billion, $5 billion, $50 billion, or $100 billion. And that will be juicy liquidity for the ecosystem. Charles Hoskinson did comment on ISO here. It states that opening banking and merging the Trade 5 DeFi worlds require compatibility for ISO 2022. Being able to hold the line with XRP makes ADA happy. There is a lot of crosstalk here with Charles Hoskinson attempting to enlist the XRP community to support a cause, and I think it's a wise move. Where else in the cryptocurrency space do you find such a dedicated group of people who recognize the value of the technology and who work tirelessly to learn and develop further? Without the daily presence of the XRP community, learning, or desiring, I can state that this channel wouldn't exist. I went for learning since I wanted to have more education, but I messed that up. All right, let's just move on. The new international banking language is ISO 20022. What's altered? Improved interoperability, infrastructure opportunities, and enhanced messaging. Naturally, some of these resources will be utilized on a worldwide basis. Keep in mind that ISO has nothing to do with cryptocurrency. It's merely a different format for messaging. Regarding 2 days ago, I made